art advocacy and policy formulation on the art sector. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cosma, for joining us today. We are happy to onboard you. I see the next person being Dennis Muranga. Dennis, kindly feel free to introduce yourself.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dennis.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm Dennis Maranga, a child protection, participation and safeguarding specialist, currently a consultant attached to World Vision, Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dennis, and thanks for attending. I see Eunice Jepchumba. Eunice?
Yeah, Eunice Jepchumba. Angel Center for Empowerment Network. That is in Bungoma County and Melbourne. We do GBV prevention and child protection. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eunice. At some point, you were breaking in your network, but feel free again to reintroduce yourself in the chats. I see Joanne Komora, kindly.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Joan Komora from Young Women Christian Association. I'm honored to join you in this meeting.
Thank you, Joanne. Nasrin Hassan.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nasrin Hassan. I'm a program officer, psychologist at Action Life Kenya. I'm a new member here, so glad to be around.
Thank you, Hassan. We are happy to have you join us. We agreed here that we are going to post much of our details on chats. I'll be able to share my contacts so that we officially welcome you to be part of this platform. I see Salome Ongele. Eunice, kindly unmute. Kindly mute your speaker. Eunice, kindly mute. Salome, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Salome Ongele. I have been working on the Kenya Primary Literacy Program as the chief of party, but when Trump happened, we closed the project, and I'm transitioning to Kenya Strategy Specialist with Education Development Center, EDC. I've not been an official member of CAF, but I've been following and receiving updates, and all along since we were implementing Tusome early grade literacy program, and things of early grade learning are so close to the heart of child protection issues because we work with children and young children. So I would like to also get an opportunity to register officially once you share the necessary information. Thank you, and happy to be in this forum.
Thank you, Madam Salome. That was a good one. We are likely to share much of our contact details on the chats. We can then proceed with these conversations on onboarding you to the network. I see Timothy. Timothy, kindly introduce yourself. Timothy Majani. Okay, I think he will be able to introduce himself on the charts. So colleagues, in the interest of time again, I just want to thank you all. For those who never had an opportunity to introduce themselves, we could do it on the charts. I've turned on our note taker, and we are going to capture everything that would relate to this meeting. So at this point, you saw the communication. We are privileged to have one of our network members that is working in Busia. Like I told you people, Children Agenda Forum is a national platform that advocates for child-specific indicators of sustainable development goals. We have nearly 184 organizations within our network advocating for children-specific issues. So at this point, I'll go straight to introduce one of my colleagues who is going to take charge as we move forward, just to train us on community policing as a measure of safeguarding children. So allow me welcome Major Titus Wabwire from Busia Beyond Crime Organization in Busia, who is going to take us through the next sessions. So Major Titus, kindly.
Yes, thank you very much, Stanley. I want to take this opportunity to thank you all for being here to participate in our discussion. I also want to thank SCIC for giving me this opportunity to share with us. My name is Major Retired Titus Wabwire. I'm the director of Busia Beyond Crime, just like Stanley has introduced us. I hope colleagues, you are hearing me.
Yes, Major, loud and clear.
Oh, thank you. I'm the director of Busia Beyond Crime. This is a community-based organization which was registered in Busia in 2015. We basically deal with the proactive prevention of crime. We've been assisting the national and county governments in Busia to address issues of crime. And we currently are working with the Freedom Fund, who have sponsored us in addressing prevention of exploitation and abuse of child domestic workers, where we are using community policing. So I'll be very happy to get us through, and this will be just a discussion, because I know most of us understand the issue of community policing. So it's not something new that bring to us, but we shall just have a good time of discussion. And before we embark on our discussion, happily and sincerely allow my colleagues to introduce themselves. We are 3 in our organization currently, so I'll allow my colleagues to introduce themselves. That is starting from our finance officer.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm called Matthew Martin from Busia Beyond Crime. Currently, I'm the finance officer. I feel so much privileged and glad to be part of this forum. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Yvonne Ohanga, and I work with Busia Beyond Crime as a data protection officer, and also I support monitoring and regulation. And I'm pleased to attend this meeting.
Thank you, colleagues. I hope you've heard from my colleagues. Stanley, are we clear?
Major, we were hearing from them loud and clear. Thanks for that.
Thank you very much. As I told you, I'm the director. I come from the background of the military. I'm a retired military officer. I retired back in 2003. And in my retirement, I've been involved in a number of programs insecurity. I happened to train in community policing in Britain back in 1989. I was on a military training and I happened to get the opportunity to go through community policing. So when I came back and retired, I've been involved in issues of community policing in various aspects. I used community policing during post-election violence in helping the communities that were at conflict in Lakisama. I also went to South Sudan. I was invited in South Sudan in Eastern Upper Nile to help address issues of cattle rustling using community policing, because the organization that I had been working with in Kenya during post-election happened also to be in South Sudan. So after appreciating what we did during post-election, they requested me to undertake crime prevention on cattle rustling using community policing. And it really worked so well. It managed to bring some semblance of peace amongst the communities in South Sudan that were involved in cattle rustling. That is the GA, the Murle, the Tokosa, the Turkana of Kenya, and the Nyangaratong, who are both in South Sudan and Ethiopia. And it really worked well to a level that we were invited in the office of the president, that is the president of South Sudan, to even scale it up. Coming back, I decided to use community policing in Busia because of the problems of crime at the border. And it has worked so well to a level that Freedom Fund was also impressed with what we're doing, and they partnered with us, that is with Busia Beyond Crime, in addressing issues of child domestic work. That is prevention of exploitation and abuse of these children. And it has been very effective. So today, I'm happy to be part of this forum to just enable us look at it from a discussion point of view. We shall be, Stanley, can you just go back slide 1? Yes. Yeah, we are going to look at community policing as a proactive approach to safeguarding children. Can we move to slide 2, Stanley? Yeah, at the end of this session, we are expected to have an understanding on the concept of safeguarding children as a proactive approach. We shall also be able to define community policing and its role in safeguarding children. We shall be appreciative of the fact that community policing is so effective when we partner with the community and the law enforcers. At the end of it, we shall also be able to distinguish between the reactive and the proactive approach in policing. And then we shall also be able to understand the risks involved in Nyumba Kumi and how we can realistically mitigate those risks. Stanley, Yeah, when we talk about safeguarding children, we've also heard of protecting children and safeguarding. Safeguarding is basically preventing harm to children, where we ensure that their health and development is not affected. And to do this, it has to be proactive. It's also ensuring children grow up with safe and effective care. In safeguarding, you also take action to enable children to thrive and achieve their potential. Remember, when a child is affected while they're young, they grow up into an adult who is not holistic. So to ensure this, we have to safeguard. And this is proactive approach where we take care of the causes of harm to children. Now, we have also been talking about child protection, but this is reactive. In child protection, we address harm when it has already occurred. Yes, Stanley, next slide. So here we are talking about Stanley. Sorry, we had not put on a video. I hope you're seeing us.
Yeah, we can see you now, Major.
Yes,
we see a very young face, so feel free to proceed.
This is a 65-year-old. Yeah, thank you. When we talk about safeguarding and child protection, we are distinguishing between proactive and reactive. As I mentioned earlier, safeguarding is prevention, ensuring that there is no harm. Just go back. Yes, there is no harm that happens to a child. So we combining prevention, protection, empowerment before harm happens to a child. And then child protection, as we saw before, is specific actions which are meted when harm has already occurred. We can give an example as when we are recruiting, for example, organizations that are working in children, institutions that work with children. When we are recruiting, the police, the recruitment, safe recruitment policy, ensuring that there's background check of those people who are handling children. Like what we do here in Nyumba Kumi, we make sure that the Nyumba Kumi representatives abide by safeguarding policy. So we address causes. We make sure that there is nothing that will come in to cause harm to a child. Then child protection is where we react to issues of abuse. We report what we see the police doing, addressing issues that have already occurred. Let's move on now. Yes, I would like to just give us some historical aspect of the proactive approach to crime prevention. And maybe even before that, the issues pertaining to a child, when we subject a child to harm, that is criminal, whether it is a parent or a community. So we classify it as a crime. And issues of a child, because they are so delicate, we emphasize on crime prevention. Now, the issue of crime prevention was vividly addressed in Britain back in 1826 by a metropolitan police officer, London Metropolitan Police Officer called Robert Peel. Robert Peel realized that crime during that time, or in Britain, a lot had been invested in crime prevention, but nothing. It was not reducing. So he carried out a research in 1826 and realized that what was making crime escalate was the fact that there was an integral part which was not included in crime prevention. The police, who are mandated to take care of crime prevention, were being funded, they were being trained, a lot was being invested, but crime was not going down. So in his research, he realized that one thing that was missing was the community. The community are the perpetrators of crime, and yet they are the perpetrators and at the same time the victims. And when it comes to crime prevention, they are not involved. So he decided to have the community as an integral part of crime prevention. And when he left the police force and joined politics, he introduced this crime prevention aspect in the Parliament of Britain. And because the community in his research were to partner with the police, it now became community policing. Move on to the next Stanley. Yeah, it was called community policing. Community policing basically comes from the word policing. Policing is the maintenance of law and order. And in the process of maintaining law and order, you find that the police react to incidents of crime. They arrest, they investigate, they patrol, they investigate, they arrest. All this is reactive, which comes from policing. And then there's proactive policing, where the community is involved, as we eventually saw after the research Sir Robert Peel carried out. So community policing is therefore the partnership between the police and the community to address issues of crime, fear of crime, improvement of the livelihood of the people, and ensuring that there is that partnership, which is spearheaded by trust, mutual trust and confidence. where the police and the community work as partners, as equal partners, where there is no big brother syndrome. And this is proactive, where the community and the police will work closely to address the causes of crime. And as I said, it is built on mutual trust and confidence by law-abiding citizens who take responsibility. Now, the core elements of community policing, which bring this concept to a very firm foundation, are three. That is partnership, where the community and the police or law enforcers partner in addressing issues of crime and improvement of the livelihood of the people, and also addressing fear of crime. Remember, fear of crime is as devastating as crime itself, because when we have crime, when crime has occurred somewhere, you find it takes time for people to come to normalcy because of the fear that crime has occurred and it might occur. So the police and the community have to come together to ensure that they take care of fear of crime. Like in Busia, we've had incidents of crime where it involves weapons like AK, where people have been killed and maimed. And it has driven businesses to closing very early, just because they fear. And although crime might not be occurring, but they fear. So the partnership takes care of that. Then the other core element is problem solving. When the community and the police come together, they work together as partners. The police move down to the community, in the community, and because the community are the ones who understand the constituency in the community, they work closely together to solve problems that might develop into crime. So the police and the community have to carry out problem solving. The police come with their expertise, and the community bring in the constituency of their society. And then we have now Nyumba Kumi, which is a community participatory intervention. Partnership was the work of Sir Robert Peel back in 1826. Problem solving was by somebody called Haman in 1976. Then Nyumba Kumi came in 1977. Nyumba Kumi is a product of Major Wabwire, who is speaking. I came up with that idea in Nanyuki after having seen what was being implemented in Britain while I was there, called Neighborhood Watch, where communities were coming together, working with the police. One thing I realized when we were implementing community policing in the country in 2002, the police were the ones spearheading community policing, and they needed to bring the community on board. But it was quite a task. Actually, the elephant in the house in the implementation was the community, because we have the police, but the element of the community was not there, where some people did not know even their neighbors, and you could not call that a community, because a community are a group of people who have common interests, who work closely together. You can have a community of farmers, a community of teachers. So getting the community to work with the police was quite a task. The police could get, for some of us who might be on this forum and were there during that time, will bear me witness that the police could just get a few elites of the society to come and form community policing. And this did not work. So what I did during my work in Nanyuki, I was in charge of an installation at the slope of Mount Kenya, military installation, and farmers used to have problems with crime and also animals invading them. So they requested me to come up with ideas on how to address this problem, realizing that I was a security person. So I crafted the issue of having people in clusters, that is Nyumba Kumi, and then the people themselves pick one of their own, and they form committees, and it worked so well at Gagioro in the slopes of Mount Kenya. So that is the genesis of Nyumba Kumi. So Nyumba Kumi, forming Nyumba Kumi, you have to meet community leaders. Then you map an area and cluster in households. In a rural setup, you do it in clusters of 10. In urban, you can do it in a cluster, blocks, because you find that there's that big difference in density of population between the rural and urban. So you form clusters. And then the community themselves, those clusters are assisting, the law enforcers and the administrators, that the chiefs, come in to assist in the clusters, in mapping and clustering. And then they leave the community to pick one of their own. Then they form committees, that is the Nyumba Kumi representative committees. Then after getting those Nyumba Kumi representatives, you train them together with the law enforcers in community policing to understand their role, to understand the role of the police, to see how best that synergy can work. Yes, Stanley, you can move to the list. Thank you. So to have Nyumba Kumi as a safeguarding strategy, as a proactive approach, we need to have awareness, training, and participation. For those Nyumba Kumi, you see, you're getting people from a community that is raw, so you need to get them trained for them to realize what their responsibility is and how that synergy with the law enforcers will be beneficial to the community as far as peace and crime prevention is concerned. They need to collaborate with the law enforcers. As I mentioned earlier, the partnership should be on equal basis. They need to understand how to address crime issues proactively. That is by preventing crime, using crime measures. They need to be trained on safeguarding policy, to be empowered in safeguarding. And this will enable them to localize this approach for it to be sustainable. When the community are empowered, you find that they own it. They have a sense of belonging. They own it, and it becomes sustainable. Unlike their reactive approach, where once those people who have brought it in go, it disappears. So Nyumba Kumi, as a safeguarding concept, supports good parenting. When we have those structures within the community, when we put the Nyumba Kumi structures, you find that there is that ownership, there is that belonging. So when they are taken through parenting skills, when they are empowered or trained, you find that this trickles down to almost every community member. This also helps a close-knit environment where now we realize the societal type of living, where each and every community member is concerned, be it on children issues or general crime prevention. The society now comes together to address it collectively and cohesively. It is easier to mobilize support for education, for getting the community aware. When they are trained on issues of counseling and parenting, you find that they do it very, very effectively. So the safeguarding framework, we need to, for Nyumba Kumi to work effectively, we need to develop safeguarding policy. For example, we've come up with a safeguarding policy on child domestic workers, and the Nyumba Kumi are so effective, are so rigorous, because they understand now that when a child is harmed, then you find that you will have an adult who is not holistic. So they take it up and do the right thing because they understand the child safeguarding policy. This should also have leadership approval and oversight. You define roles like what we have in child domestic workers, prevention of the exploitation and abuse. We have roles well defined. We have the Nyumba Kumi who are also safeguarding focal persons who report to a focal person in the office. So this is a place that you find that it is well arranged and it works so effectively. Then they also have understand that responsibility when you train them on code of conduct. You find that if they are not given this awareness, some of them might be wolves within the community and pounce on the vulnerable community of children. So when they understand the code of conduct, when they are trained, you find that they work so effectively in taking care of the needs of a child. They should be also screening and background checks of these community members. Some of them might be having shady backgrounds, so you need to have that background check so that you ensure that even if they have been chosen by the community, and I forgot to mention earlier why we have the community choosing their representative within the Nyumba Kumi clusters. Because if you allow the chief or the police, they might choose their cronies and they will not represent the community. So you let the community choose one of their own, and I'm sure they cannot choose somebody who will let them down or who does not have good integrity. So the fact that we allow the community to choose one of their own might not just be foolproof of having a very good person to represent them. So we also, you as an organization need also to do a background check. You need to screen. You can use the police and the administration to get the right person to be in the safeguarding framework. Next. In community policing being a proactive approach, we need also to have the children to participate, not just to take them as objects. We respect children's rights. They have to be heard. You have to get feedback. You have to put feedback channels in place to ensure that you get what is going on down at the grassroots and the right feedback. Have inclusive programs. We have what we call do no harm. There are certain programs that we implement in the community or programs that pertain to children. And sometimes they end up even doing harm to these children. In the name of implementing programs, and eventually they do harm to the community. We need to apply that principle so that we make sure that the programs that we apply are not detrimental to the vulnerable community. And that is well enforced by community policing. Next. Nyumba Kumi, as much as it is, or rather community policing, as much as is one of the best and the most effective concept in addressing crime. It can have certain risks if not implemented properly. For example, if community policing is not implemented properly, it can infringe on the rights of on the privacy of children. For example, Nyumba Kumi can misuse it to infringe on the rights or privacy of children. There can also be mistrust between Nyumba Kumi or community policing and law enforcers if it is not properly addressed. You'll realize that we've had cases whereby there have been eliminated gangs. There have been there's the so-called community policing members becoming vigilantes. There have also been cases whereby the law enforcers do not trust the Nyumba Kumis and vice versa. Vigilantism is unlawful because it is an abuse of power. So if you don't implement it properly, you find that vigilantism will crop up. You might end up not having inclusivity. You might have those challenges. If not implemented properly, following the steps that I mentioned earlier, you will find that the so-called Nyumba Kumis will play part in disappearance of children and exploitation. Nyumba Kumi also experiences or might experience limitation as far as resources are concerned. There are areas that culture can bring resistance or interference. Yes, Stanley. Those are the risks. And that does not mean that we have, when you have those risks, Nyumba Kumi is not working. We need to have ways of circumventing those risks. And that is what we have done to enable community policing to be the most effective crime prevention concept. Some of the mitigating factors are training in child protection laws and ethics so that the Nyumba Kumi understand these laws. They are ethical. We also have, we strengthen police community relationship. We've done it so well in Busia to a level that the demagogue that was there between the police and the community has been dissipated, and police move out of the police station to go to the community to work with them because they know they rely on the community, and if there is that relationship, then they go down to address issues of crime, which comes from the community. Another area is inclusive leadership, where youth, women, people living with disability are considered for leadership where there is that potential, and community policing comes out with that, and it has worked so well here. Stanley. Hello, Stanley. The slides have disappeared. Hello?
Hey, Major. We can still hear you, but the slides are not up. It seems Stanley dropped.
Oh, let me see how I can bring in my slides. Sorry for that. Yes, sorry for that mishap. I was talking about mitigation, just to ensure that we circumvent those risks if they so happen. And they happen because maybe one has not implemented community policing in the right manner. So we need to train the child protection. We need to train them in child protection laws and ethics, strengthening police-community relationship, ensuring that there is inclusivity in the leadership, giving that awareness and education. We need also to ensure that we have adequate resources for the community to have proper implementation and oversight. We need to ensure that there is a proper collaboration with the children department, the Nyumba Kumi representatives, or even the organizations that are handling issues of children might not be with proper knowledge of handling these children. they need to be close to this department so that they are guided. Like what we have been doing here, we ensure that any issue pertaining to a child is if the police have to be informed. If it has gone to a level of harm, they must be P3. You cannot handle an issue without going through those steps to ensure that a child is properly handled or children issues are properly handled. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Nyumba Kumi, or the community policing, is the most effective approach to crime prevention universally. This has been proved from the time that Sir Robert Peel brought it into parliament and it was enacted. It has proved to be one of the best concepts in addressing crime. And you find that countries that have adopted this concept have had very, very tight, watertight security as far as crime prevention is concerned. So the Nyumba Kumi has a lot of benefits as far as safeguarding children is concerned. You find that when you have those structures, you are assured of reaching every household, every child. Unlike these other measures that we use, sometimes you find as an organization, you will just pick the elites of the society, mnakutana kwa maybe kwa hoteli or in a designated place, and not every person will get that information. But with the Nyumba Kumi, every person has to be reached. If there is any information that is to be passed down to the community, it will reach the community. Nyumba Kumi has also proved to be a very effective concept in economic empowerment. Like what we are doing in Busia, we have registered the SACCO, and it is a Nyumba Kumi SACCO where we're encouraging all Nyumba Kumi members to be part of it, because these are not people who are paid by the government. So we encourage them to save with the SACCO, so that they are also empowered, and in the process, they save, and then they get loans. We also in the process of getting some support to beef up amount that they can get small loans, and in the process you find that they are empowered, and that empowerment will trickle down to the households. The other benefit is we have enhanced or improved vigilance and reporting. No household will have an issue without being realized, because these are the smallest units of the society, and they have representatives, like the 10 households. When they have their representative, there is no household that will have a problem without this representative knowing. And if it will require escalation, then it will be reported. This structure, this system also strengthens social support. And ultimately, we have crime reduction and effective data collection. Nyumba Kumi is one of the most effective data collection strategy or tool. Because if you wanted data on health, as far as households are concerned, Nyumba Kumi is very, very effective. That, I think we can say that that is the end of our small presentation. as far as community policing addressing or being a safeguard for children is concerned, because it is a proactive. And for children, we cannot afford to allow children to have harm. We need to protect them from child development through their stages into adulthood. Thank you. Maybe, I don't know whether Stanley has come back.
Thank you, Major. I hope you can hear me. At some point, I had technical issues, but it's normal. Here, so thank you for that good presentation on community policing, and
I think Stanley has dropped off again. Maybe he's still having those technical.
anyone with a question?
Stanley, we did not hear you. You dropped off.
Oh, Gabriel, how are you?
I'm well. I was saying that Stanley, you dropped off. We did not hear you.
Yeah, I think he's having some technical problems. But as Stanley works on that, I just want to thank you. This was just to highlight us on issues of community policing, because I've realized in the country we are having a bit of a challenge in the implementation. But this is the most effective concept, most effective approach to crime prevention, because it is proactive. And if it is properly implemented, it is a silver bullet. I also forgot to inform you that I've written a book on community policing, which addresses all forms of crime, because we used community policing to address cattle rustling, which is a nightmare in South Sudan, but it worked so effectively, because in South Sudan you find 1,000 youths from 14 to 20 years with AK, they raid a place. They can raid Kenya, they move away with hundreds of thousands of cows, and then the Kenyan side also, those who are involved in cattle rustling also do the same. So in South Sudan, it's such a huge thing, but we managed to address it. So in children, this is the most effective approach, because we say when you mishandle a child, you're manufacturing a criminal. You are manufacturing an adult who is not holistic. So we need to emphasize on safeguarding. We need to emphasize on proactive measures. Otherwise, it was just brief. We can continue in future, but I would welcome questions or ideas that we can share. Because as much as I took you through to the very end, it is supposed to be a discussion. Thank you. Gabriel.
Yes, Major.
Any contribution, any idea, any question?
None at the moment, but it has been a learning opportunity on what what made you think about Nyumba Kumi in the first place and the gains made under Nyumba Kumi, and it has really been enlightening. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabriel. I can see Titus, I can see Titus Musungu, Dennis Maranga, Ann Katanu. Anything?
Yes, my name is Titus Musungu from Missing Child Kenya.
Yes.
Yeah, I've followed through your contributions, and I actually agree with a better part of what you've said, especially the part of safeguarding and being proactive instead of reactive, because you'll find that even for us, Missing Child Kenya, we are focusing on advocacy, on ways to educate or make the community aware about probably the safety of children when in the community, in our institutions like the school settings. So I think the proactive approach is I think you've elaborately touched on it, and it's the way to go instead of focusing on reactive measures. Maybe after something has happened to the child is when now we start to react. I think that is it's retrogressive. So that proactive approach, you've made it come out very clearly, and I think I agree with you totally on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Titus, my namesake. Really appreciate, and I'm humbled.
Hi, my name is Ann Katanu from
Ann.
Nyumbani Children's Home. Ann from Nyumbani Children's Home.
Yes.
I think it's very enlightening how Nyumba Kumi plays a big role and can help us in child safeguarding. I appreciate your paper and the way you've presented it. It's well understood. So let us see how things will work out. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Don't forget the book I mentioned about. It's called The Silver Bullet. It is very, very enlightening. It touches on all types of crime prevention.
Thank you so much, Major. At some point, I lost my internet. I'm sorry about that. I don't know if members would come in and just post some questions, because it was the next step after your presentation. Has that happened yet?
Yeah, it is what is going on.
Okay.
Members have been very, very participatory. I'm so grateful. Any other? Can see Dennis Maranga, can see Gabriel has just spoken.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for that insightful presentation. Mine is just to add, there's that aspect where we were looking at, when you look at safeguarding, especially when you talk of people who are working with and for children, we need to be very, very, very vigilant and very careful, because we might be saying that some of these people who are enrolled in some of these Nyumba Kumi policy committees, they really need to be vetted in-depthly. You might say you are reducing harm, but again, you might be creating more harm, especially to children who normally suffer unique vulnerabilities when it comes, especially living amongst communities. And it is very important to ensure that when we look at those aspects of, for example, forming the committees and also looking at the members who are supposed to be part of such delegations, they're supposed to have an in-depth training on especially how to understand safeguarding policies, especially the Kenyan policy on safeguarding and the various policies, even internationally. Like now we are comparing we can compare the safeguarding policies like in Britain and Kenya, because we are using the British kind of constitution, just to understand what it talks about child protection, safeguarding, and also community policing, because we might find in areas where people have limited knowledge, especially on the safeguarding policies, the minimum operating procedures. It might be a challenge when it comes to fully implementing some of these policies. And it's true, as you've said, most of the Nyumba Kumis, it was just a pick and select influential people in the community. There was no proper vetting. It was just a matter of, when you move around, you see most of them are just the fact that this is a well-known person, but is this person really understanding that they have another deeper role to understanding things like safeguarding, things like protecting children? Yeah. So I can say it's very insightful, and it's a very good presentation. And we can going forward continue to spread the knowledge and the information on importance of safeguarding children, especially on aspects like the community policing and Nyumba Kumi, because these are very key structure in the community when it comes to aspects of child protection. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dennis. I'm so grateful. Yeah, as you rightly put it, if you just assume that these are community members that can carry out this, you might end up doing harm to the community. So what we have done here, in fact, is just like we can even put it as a pilot. We ensured that the community, we map cluster, and then the community themselves pick one of their own, which is also one way of making sure that we get the right people. And then we train them. We have trained them on safeguarding policy. And then we get the focal person within the community. And then we also give the community members our contact, so that should anybody or even the leaders be of any questionable character, they forward to us, and we are working very closely with the law enforcers who are partners in this issue. So thank you very much for that observation. If you don't put proper screens in the community, you might end up having wolves as Nyumba Kumi. Thank you. Is it Ali Ibrahim?
Ndiyo Meja, nimeshukuru sana kwa hii nafasi.
Asante, karibu.
Utaniruhusu nitumie Kiswahili kidogo kwa sababu ni mtu wa pwani.
Ndio lugha isipokuwa tu si mdomo chetu, lakini that should be the best language. Ya Kizungu tumeipata tu. Asante, karibu.
Asante. Yangu ni kuhusu namna ya kuweka hizi data, sababu presentation imekuwa ni nzuri na imejieleza kwa upana na kwa undani zaidi. La sikuona ukizungumzia jinsi gani Nyumba Kumi na hii initiative inaweza protect data haswa ya mtoto na wale wahusika kikamilifu. Nadhani hicho ni kitengo pengine labda unaweza kizungumzia pia, kwa sababu tunapolinda mtoto pia nitokisha na information yake yote imelindwa, ndiposa isivuje in case of any harm, kwa sababu ya ukuaji wake kama ulivyotangulia kusema. Sijui kama umenielewa vizuri.
Nimekuelewa. Yeah, that is a very, very crucial area. Sisi huwa tunashughulika na mambo ya data protection. We have a data protection officer. Kuna hizo forms pia za consent huwa lazima zisainiwe. Actually, we have proper measures in place to protect data from the child to even community members who are dealing with the issues of children or child safeguarding. And the protection officer ensures that the data that we have or is within the community is not tampered with. We know even there are those groups like even politicians who want to have people's data. So that is one area that we have ensured that we protect so much, so that their data does not go into any other persons without the consent from our place to parents. Sijui kama nimekujibu Ali.
Ndio, umenijibu vizuri Meja, asante sana, shukran.
Nashukuru pia.
Maybe Major, we can pick one more last concern. I see time is not on our side. We had proposed to end this at 30 minutes past 3. So in the spirit of leaving no one behind, any other person before we wrap it up?
There's no.
Or silence will mean we are all okay. Back to the Secretariat, coordinating Children Agenda Forum. We want to appreciate you all for attending this meeting. As I posted on the charts, find our contacts. Any other time you feel like we want to engage more, new members joining for the first time, you can kindly reach out to us. Being our member network, you will now be able to see our next conversations. You will be able to, get some of our benefits, being a member of Children Agenda Forum. I heard someone spoke on data issues. As the Secretariat, we had established some knowledge management platform, and we call it a knowledge management platform on children, where again partnership is voluntary. You can visit it. It is on our website, and any other information regarding children, be it the spaces we are working in, you can always share those kind of information. The advantage of being in that platform is to make your work visible to, potential donors. You never know, because I believe we are working with some other international organizations just to showcase what you are doing in your specific organizations. Otherwise, it was a good one, and we appreciate you, Major, for the good insights, the knowledge on community. At least we learned, and I believe everyone is coming out here having gained something. That will be from our side, unless, Major, you have some closing remarks.
Yes. I want to thank God for this opportunity. I thank the conveners. This has been a big opportunity that I cannot take it for granted. The platform you've given us as a Busia Beyond Crime. This is something that we have that we would like many people to get to know and apply it in the community. When Mandera is not safe, Mombasa is not safe. When Migori is not safe, Busia is not safe. This being one of, I should say, the best concept in crime prevention, and God having given me this opportunity, I am at your discretion as members. Being a member of this forum, I'm at your discretion to assist you implement in your locality the best practices in community policing. Because I'm also the chairman of community policing in the county, and I've had the privilege of working with the county commissioners and governors. When you require maybe proper implementation of this concept, I know the entry points and how I can assist for it to be implemented properly in your place. I will, maybe Stanley, you can give them my contact, or you can post the contact on the screen, so that should anybody want me to assist, I'm available and at your discretion. Otherwise, thank you so much for this. I believe we shall continue interacting. We shall continue having conversation on this concept. This is a concept that the government brought in the country in 2002 and implemented in 2005, but it has not been properly implemented. Just because people fail how to to partner with the law enforcers and how to bring the community on board. It is just named Nyumba Kumi, but you find it is just handpicked. But we have the best way to build the network of Nyumba Kumi, to implement it so that we go back to the societal and communal living, whereby a child is taken care of by the entire community. And it is community policing which can only, which is the only concept that can bring that. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
I saw Caleb Arns was up. Caleb, kindly. And I've also posted Major's contacts on the chats for whoever will want to receive it and engage with Medha directly. I also see someone is requesting for the recording. Yeah, we'll be able to share that on the mailing list. So don't worry, we got you covered. Caleb, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Stanley. I know I got in early and left again and then came back later on. So I've been doing a lot of listening. Thank you so much, Titus, for the presentation. But I know there is a serious concern about our border points in terms of child trafficking, and in particular Busia. Even some 2 weeks ago, I saw a group of very young guys, mostly from Central Africa, Rwandese and Burundians. Most of these people come through Busia, and I'm not very sure how the community teams down there can strengthen monitoring mechanisms, and that is what I've just asked on the chat, to minimize illegal immigration into the country, which is also a serious concern. Very, very young people are being illegally trafficked into the country using our border point, mostly Busia and Sirare. To you, Titus.
Thank you very much, Caleb. I've defined this concept as the most proactive, but you find that community policing, as much as it was supposed to be taken through the parliament, to be an act of parliament, I don't think it has been ascended on. So you find that these are people who are just volunteers. They do not have, sometimes some of them do not have proper income, and working effectively becomes a bit of a challenge. When we implemented the child domestic work project, we had resources and we did it effectively in a small defined area. It has not covered the entire county, but where we have implemented it, it has been very effective, right? If you could remember one time, the police were announcing that they had nabbed somebody who was stealing mobile phones in Kenya and crossing to Uganda. It was Nyumba Kumi who apprehended them, and then they took the police, and the police took it up as if it was their baby. So you find that where we have implemented it, although it's a small jurisdiction, it has been very effective. Human trafficking in Busia, because of the porous border, is quite rampant. But community policing has played a very big role. We have even, because we work very closely with the Ugandan counterpart, the community in Uganda has also some semblance of community policing. They have assisted us. We have brought children who have gone as far as Entebbe, because they believe that Entebbe is the security is not as tight as JKE. So we brought children who have come from Murang'a, those sides of Central, and even Ukambani, because of what the community policing are doing at the border. But the unfortunate part of it is that the resources are so small that we cannot cover the entire place. But given the resources, we are able to address this problem because you are empowering the community, and the community are the ones who know what happens where. So the unfortunate situation in the government is that this concept has not been economically uplifted. But we are working on it. I've even written a book, a manual, a training manual. It is soon being published. Actually, we are published. We are just printing on modern slavery. I wrote it. I developed it with a colleague. We are working with NIA called Milika Wahu. We addressed the proactive approach to modern slavery, touching on child labor, human trafficking, and child domestic work. This is coming out by Monday. It will be out. I hope we shall be able to maybe have some of you go through it. It's also very effective. It's a training manual that people can use to train the community, to train your jurisdiction on how to detect, identify the perpetrators, make sure that you close all avenues in the community. I don't know whether I've helped you see
Thank
the
you.
other side of your question, Caleb.
Thank you so much for that robust response. But I know we still have a lot of work to do, just as you have mentioned. Yeah, because a lot of Busia border, then you have the porous Lake Victoria, which is poorly
exactly.
which is poorly policed.
Yeah.
So they're used a lot for children and for general human trafficking. But thank you so much for your response.
Thank you too.
Good one. And the African Institute for Children's Studies, we are a major. It was a nice conversation. I posted your contacts on chats. Any other person feeling like they should engage directly to Major can contact him directly. For new members that were joining this meeting for the first time, I've posted our contact details on chats. You can as well reach out to us. We add you to our platforms. And allow me market some of the functions that we are having in the near future. One, we are planning the International Conference on Child Protection that would be in the month of August. You can as well reach out to me. Next month, we are organizing a youth at Westlands, and any young person that like they want to be part of this within your networks, you can channel their contacts with us so that they become part of these forums. So otherwise, I want to thank you all for joining this meeting. Special thanks to Major for, giving us good thoughts on community policing. I hope you marketed your book. I have mine here, I've been reading it. It's a very nice book. Actually, I'm on page 2. So thank you so much. And I hope any other person would get this resource, contacting you. Asanteni sana, and you people have a good evening.
You too, thank you, Caleb.
Sorry, I didn't get Mr. Titus's number. Would you kindly pin it?
Yeah, it is on the chat, sir. 0722 600 915. 0722 600 915. My number is 0723 582 406. Okay, asanteni sana.